I want to get on more on this, the Boston Marathon bombing suspects and their parents. Let's get to that number. $100,000 in welfare received over a 10-year period. That's the report today from the Boston Herald. Congressman Scott Garrett joins us right now. Congressman, always a pleasure to have you with us. Can I get your initial reaction to this $100,000 to the bomber family?
Yeah, that's shocking, surprising, disturbing, discouraging, and all the rest in light of the problems with this investigation prior and after.
Okay, let me move on, because that is a shocking number, and we got your reaction, and I'm happy with that. Lower tax rates, real tax reform. That is being proposed, that's now the Republican primary goal now, as opposed to entitlement reform. Can you hold out any hope that we will actually get lower tax rates at some point in the near future?
Yes, as long as you define near as, maybe not as near as you would want it to be. Look, we had Secretary Lew. Yeah, it's all how you define the word is, right? So we had Secretary Lew before the Budget Committee, was it the week before, or last week I guess it was, and at that time he laid out what the president was going to be in the budget, what have you, and Chairman Ryan asked him a good question. He said, well, Secretary Lew, it seems as though there's some areas of commonality here on the tax portion. Maybe we cannot agree on the entire budget, but maybe we can just agree on this portion of the budget, which is where you would have doing away with deductions and credits and what have you, and actually lowering rates. And Secretary Lew's response was, no, we can't go there. They want, just as it is with other things, they want it's all or nothing. And so I really don't hold out much hope for this, despite the fact that Dave Camp in the House is doing yeoman's work to try to come up with and craft a plan to pass it through the House.
You're disappointing us, Congressman. We were really hoping.
Oh, wait, let me change all that. Yes, it's absolutely. Matter of fact, so before this segment is over, I think we're going to have legislation coming to the House and through the floor for a discussion, and we should be hopeful for that.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, we really appreciate you being with us this morning. All right, let me change tack for a second. Obamacare.
Okay.
There's an enormous amount of criticism coming down the pike at this thing. Is there any chance that can be... I understand it's not going to be completely repealed, but can you pick at it to stop it creating chaos in our medical system?
Yes and no. So let's say on the positive side, on the yes, I think there will be portions of it where there will be commonality between the Democrats and Republicans when Democrats will finally admit that, gee, when they voted for a 2,000-page document, they really didn't know what was in it before they voted for it, and so there will be pieces of it that they want to go back and to tweak here and there. And so you already did that, right, with the 1099 provision. We'll probably be able to do that with with the medical device tax and other things like that, where you can make it better. But I think at the end of the day, the ultimate goal of the Republican Party, at least in the House, will be to state our position is, and that is this whole thing has to be repealed, hook, line, and sinker, pulled out by the roots, thrown away, and go back to square one to create some sort of certainty in the market in this place going forward.
How about tax increases? The president's budget proposes, I think, is $1 trillion worth of new taxes over the next 10 years. Can you beat that back?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Well, with regard to Obamacare, good question. So some of the provisions of Obamacare, of course, some have already kicked in. Some will be kicking in down the road. To the extent that we have any ability to stop them as they become to get kicked in, yes, I think we will be able to do that. Because why? Because the other side of the aisle will not have those things being kicked in during their election cycles and saying this is the effect of Obamacare. That's probably one of the best arguments for Republican strength in this area, is that Obamacare is a failed system. Obamacare will not work, and as more of it gets implemented, the American public will realize, gee, we were sold a bill of goods here. And in some respects, all Republicans have to do on those points is to sit back and say, look, we don't want to say we told you so, but look, this is how bad it is, and we have an alternative to it.
Sir, Congressman Scott Garrett, who happens to be my congressman from northern New Jersey, we appreciate you very much being with us today, Scott. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Now this.